In the criminal justice system, a fair trial depends on an impartial jury.
Their job includes listening to testimony, determining the facts, following the law, and eventually reaching a verdict. But when a juror isn't truthful during the process, it can lead to serious consequences, including criminal charges.
In Georgia, a judge ordered a new trial after jurors failed to hold 2 of 3 defendants accountable in a wrongful death case involving the death of a mother of 2. Investigative reporter Andy Perotti takes an in-depth look at the evidence and the controversial verdict.
When Patricia Heller left the Atlanta airport in 2003 in a taxi, she would never reach her final destination.
The cab driver who was driving too fast lost control of the car, left the roadway and smashed into a grove of trees.
It happened on Interstate 85 in Hapeville toward downtown Atlanta. The roads were slick after a recent rain. The impact of the crash killed the 51-year-old immediately, leaving behind 2 children and Ed, her husband. The taxicab driver pleaded guilty to vehicular homicide for driving with unsafe tires. The incident report shows the tires were bald with no tread. Patricia's family filed a lawsuit against the driver, the taxicab company, and an Atlanta city inspector who passed the taxi's safety inspection just a day before the crash. James Potts is the family's attorney.
This woman lost her life for reasons that never should have happened.
After 20 years of civil litigation, including the Georgia Supreme Court, the case was finally put in the hands of a Fulton County jury this past March. When the jurors reached their verdict, they found the taxicab company liable for Patricia's death, but not the driver or the city inspector.
What was your reaction?
I was shocked. And for these jurors not to also hold the driver who pled guilty to vehicular homicide and unsafe tires, and the city inspector made no sense.
After the trial, the family's attorney spoke to some of the jurors. He wanted to know why they didn't hold the city inspector and the driver liable too. According to court documents, one of the jurors spoke up, claiming he was responsible for the verdict. That juror is Scott Kelly, seen here in his LinkedIn profile.
He said, quote, "I stopped that," close quote. Said it again, said, "I'm the one that stopped that."
Court transcripts show Scott identified himself as a corporate attorney during the jury selection process. But according to trial records, that wasn't the full truth. The Supreme Court of Illinois suspended Scott from practicing law in 2008 for withholding $10,000 from a client and other allegations, and since then has never been a licensed attorney in any state. Prospective jurors in Fulton County signed this form pledging to tell the truth about their occupation. And watch this video.
That's why it's important to be completely honest and truthful during the jury selection process.
Patricia's family appealed the jury's verdict, claiming Scott's actions were misconduct and he misrepresented his professional credentials. In July, the judge ordered a new trial, writing the jury's verdict was contrary to the weight of the evidence. The order does not address the family's claims of jury misconduct.
He was not a lawyer. You got to tell the truth.
I was really upset.
We reached out to that juror, Scott Kelly, but he declined to be interviewed for this story. In his court ruling, the judge did not specifically name juror misconduct that we mentioned in our story as a reason for ordering a new trial.
Andy, what's the status of the retrial?
The juror's verdict to hold the taxicab liable for Patricia's death still holds. It awarded $25 million in damages to her family. A new trial date has not been scheduled.